Morning.
Welcome back to Global News Morning. Well, with back to school top of mind, many parents still have screen use and social media amongst kids and teens at the top of their list of concerns these days. And a local group has been gaining momentum on that front. Jenna Post is here from Unplug Canada, the Nova Scotia chapter, with an update this morning. They encourage parents to delay smartphones and social media use and give kids more independence and free play. So let's get an update on Jenna, who's fighting the good fight on this front that so many parents talk about all the time. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
Nice to be here.
Thanks so much for coming in. What's the latest and greatest on the effort?
Well, last we spoke, we had initiated our kind of call to action online, trying to show their support across Canada to help raise the age of social media and better protect kids from harmful content. Well, we've had an exciting update. We have an MP out west, Patrick Wheeler, who's actually supporting our petition to go to the government and say we need to do something here in Canada. So last number of weeks, we've actually been going to the soccer field, getting physical signatures and showing support across the country. And we have several thousands of petitions that are now making their way out west to his office, and he's going to be bringing that into September. So we're really trying to push that Canada really needs to start to step up here. We're seeing lots of global movement around the world on this topic, and we want to help protect our kids here.
So raising the age to 16, why is it 16?
Well, that's what the latest research is sort of saying. That's kind of when they're getting more independent. They're driving at that age. You know, you have to start giving them some more independence at that point. But under that age is really, there's just so much more impact to their development when they're going through, especially those puberty years, on their mental health, their actual, social development, and their overall well-being. So 16 is not necessarily the magic number, but it's a number that many of the researchers are saying we should at least be raising it to that age. Some are actually looking at 18, but 16 seems to be generally accepted at this point.
So if viewers out there are, supportive of this or against this or have opinions on this, how can they reach out to you, or what should they do with the petition?
Well, we can still accept some signatures online, but we do have a petition. You can reach out to some of your local chapters. Go to our website, unplugcanada.com. We still have our pledge there as well, so pledging to delay with parents is also a great way to show overall support for this, but we are in the process of collecting it. I would also say reach out to your local MP, because the more MPs we can get across the country in support of this, the more likelihood we have for this to pass. So that's something that every parent and every person who's in support of this can do for us.
Right. So you've been talking provincially to some MLAs as well, right? You have some to share with us on that?
Yeah, I actually have. I've had some conversations with the Liberal MLAs here, and they're in support of this. And it sounds like they're going to be bringing something forward here for Nova Scotia in this legislative session. So, we saw in Australia, that's how their country movement happened, was South Australia actually brought forward some legislation first, and then that sparked an entire national movement that really has led the world on this topic.
Right. So the provincial government, I know they will say, listen, last year we brought in that sweeping changes to, cell phone use and smartphone use in schools. So how did that go in year one, and what would you say to them on what more can be done?
Well, honestly, we've had roundtables across the province. We've had conversations about how effective that change has been. I think that definitely it was a great first step. We still have more we could be doing, I believe, in the middle schools as far as restricting it more there. Because again, that under 16 is the most vulnerable kids are.
Because you want to see like a bell-to-bell policy, right?
Ideally, yeah. Ideally up to at least middle school. If not, many places around the world are up to high school.
What does that mean?
So not allowed on the property from bell to bell.
Which right now they are allowed on the property, is it?
They are not allowed up until elementary, grade 6. And then from grade 7 and up, they are just not allowed in the classrooms. Some schools, though, have their own policies, which I've been very excited to be working with some principals across Nova Scotia, especially the middle school level, who actually are making their own policies, and they are making it bell to bell because they've been given that ability to make their own, but it would be nice to see a provincial policy go a little bit further too.
Yeah, exactly. So we talked about this last time we were in. Is there any pushback from parents who say, listen, we need this in the hands of our kids for safety, they're getting on the bus, I know my son's going on a bus next year.
Yeah.
How do we kind of address that issue?
We definitely don't want to limit people being able to communicate with their kids. That's not what this is about. This is about the smartphones that really have social media, open web. That's where the inappropriate content is. So if you want to give your kid a flip phone, you want to give them a phone that's fully restricted, that's fine, that's understandable. It's more just the data and the evidence, looking back the last 10, 15 years of kids having open access to the internet and what inappropriate content can be there, and social media, just the rates of anxiety, depression, self-harm, and just overall development is shocking and scary.
Yeah. And if you're like us in my family, we always say we think our kids are on iPads way too much, even though like the horse is out of the stable, as it were, right now. But how do you kind of rein some of that in? What tips would you give parents?
I think you just got to start small. Like start restricting it a little by little. Start talking to them about it. Like I know with our family, we talk just very openly about how these devices are tricky. You know, depending on age appropriate kind of language, that they are designed to try to make you want to, you know, keep playing them. Like we actually talk a lot about addiction and have some similarities to things like smoking. So my kids tend to draw those similarities sometimes to these devices, and they just build that awareness, so that I find when you talk about it really openly with kids, they seem to understand it and they kind of recognize it themselves.
Like YouTube Shorts is bad for you. They just want you to keep scrolling, kids.
Yes.
So it's our job to get them off of that as much as we can, for sure, and educate them on you know. Jenna Post, Unplug Canada Nova Scotia chapter. If you're interested in this topic, everything towards there on online.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Safely.
Yes.